Senator Warner, I'll start with you. Why start here in this realm of the financial markets in what is kind of yet to be fully defined as a threat, when we know that we've resisted kind of broader moves by the Pope and others in this country to come up with comprehensive AI regulation? Why start here?
Well, I've been surprised there's not been more attention focused on this. I mean, the two areas where AI right now could have the most dramatic effect is undermining faith in our public elections and faith in our public markets. And John and I, who worked together on a lot of these topics, said, let's not try to boil the ocean. Let's go out with some specific legislation to make sure, without adding a whole lot of new laws, that we both enhance the ability for the FSOC, which frankly has had a mixed record over the last 10 plus years, but give them the responsibility on a broad look, and also put in place some additional penalties if some of these AI tools are used to manipulate the markets.
Senator Kennedy, why aren't the existing laws sufficient to go after any sort of bad actors here? And what kind of problems do you envision?
Well, the existing laws are not sufficient because AI is relatively new. And I would make three quick points. Number one, this is a personal opinion. I think artificial intelligence will make our lives better if it doesn't kill us first. Number two, the point of this bill is to try to make our lives better. Point three, I do not believe that Congress is ready to pass a comprehensive artificial intelligence bill. So we ought to break it up into bite-sized pieces and start with financial fraud and the Financial Stability Oversight Council, FSOC as we call it, is the best group to advise Congress. And that's what this bill does. It turns the FSOC loose and says, come up with recommendations and give them to us and let us respond. And I think it'll work.
Why, Senator Kennedy and then Senator Warner, if you would, why do you think the FSOC is the right organization to be at the tip of the spear on this, given, Senator Warner, what you just said is a somewhat checkered history over the past decade? Senator Kennedy, why don't you take a first whack, and then Senator Warner?
Well, what I like about FSOC is that all of the mob families are represented. You've got Treasury, you've got Federal Reserve, you've got the SEC, you've got the CFPB. All of the main financial regulators are there. And while we may like some and not like some personally, I think the entity is the right entity to advise us.
And let me build on what John said. You know, as somebody who was very involved in Dodd-Frank and helping create FSOC, we thought there are certain problems that rise above the individual, cylinder approach. AI, with all its potential for good and bad, clearly meets that criteria. Again, I think the FSOC's record has been a little bit checkered. So we are saying, all right, this is a new problem. Go after it. And I'd also just point out, it's not like we're talking about a new laws. Market manipulation is already illegal. What we're saying, though, AI tools can have that market manipulation with such speed and scale, we've got to step back and say, this could really undermine confidence. So give FSOC the ability, put in place, within existing rules, the ability to have higher level of damages if you create, and put some level of responsibility for those who create these AI models, that if their tools are misused, they would bear some responsibility as well.
I want to switch topics just briefly. We may come back to AI in a moment, but I will point out one of the things that frightens me is the idea that a deep fake could get perpetrated in the financial markets. You could have someone pose as Elon Musk and tank Tesla stock. A short seller could do that. It'd be a very easy thing to do, and it's sort of the same thing that we fear in the political market. But let me turn, if I might, to the question of additional military aid to Ukraine and to Israel, and what it will take to achieve progress or a breakthrough in that area. It seems as though progress on border security is the linchpin here. Let me ask each of you that question. What will it take? Do you believe that both Ukraine and Israel need and deserve more U.S. military aid, money that actually gets spent in the United States on American weapons for the most part? Do you agree that that's needed, and what will it take to get that? Senator Kennedy, why don't you go first?
Well, 7 weeks ago, when the president sent us the bill, my answer would have been different. But here's my answer today. It's up to President Biden. It's clearly up to him. This bill's not going to pass the Senate unless there's a meaningful change to border security. And that's not going to happen. I don't think my Democratic friends will vote for it unless President Biden says to vote for it. And I have no idea what he's going to do. It comes down to this, Tyler. Is border security or lack thereof more important to him than Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan? That's what it boils down to. But the longer we wait, the harder it's going to get.